Hi guys, in this video I'm going to be talking about type 1 in section 1B.2 of your 1B part 1 packet. So I'm currently on page 6 and I'm looking at type 1, factor out a greatest common monomial factor. So in this type of factoring, you're basically doing exactly what you did in 1B1, except for there is an added step at the beginning, which is a GCF. Now, this is something that you want to get really comfortable with because it's an added step that could be in any type of factoring. So in the first example, I see factor 15x cubed minus 6x squared minus 9x. So when I'm talking about a common factor, the greatest common factor, I'm not only looking at the numbers 15, 6, and 9, I'm also looking at the x's and their exponents, x cubed, x squared, and x. So when I take out a greatest common factor, I look at those things separately. The numbers 15, 6, and 9, those are all divisible by 3. The x's, I'm looking at the most amount of x's that I can take out of each term. So there's 3 to give here, there's only 2 to give here, and there's only 1 to give here. So I could feasibly take 1 x away from each of these terms, and I wouldn't be overdrawing from any of the terms. So I can take out 3x. Now when you take out a GCF, you put it in the front, 3x, and then I'm left over with 5x squared minus 2x minus 3. Now these terms come from each term divided by 3x. If I were to multiply the 3x back in, I would get 15x cubed minus 6x minus 6x squared, sorry. So now once you take out your GCF, you factor it out, and now you factor the rest of the expression. So I see 5x squared minus 2x minus 3. So just like you did in the last section, you're going to factor that expression. So I'm going to do that in a different color here, 5x squared and negative 3. So that comes out to negative 15. So I write negative 15 off to the side, and that's equal to 1 times 15 or 3 times 5. Now notice here I'm multiplying to a negative number, so I need a positive and a negative. I see I'm going to add to negative 2, so I need a positive and a negative where I have more negatives than positives because I'm going to add to a negative number. So it's either 1 and negative 15 or 3 and negative 5. 3 plus negative 5 gives me negative 2, so that's what I'll choose. So now I've got 3x minus 5x in the middle, negative 3 on the end, 5x squared in the beginning, and we're ready to roll. So I'm going to just forget about this 3x for right now, but maybe if you're a highlighter person, you might want to highlight it to remind yourself that you need to put it back in the end. So in here, I take out x, that's my GCF of 5x squared minus or plus 3x, and I'm going to take out negative 1 in the back. So I end up with x times 5x plus 3 minus 1 times 5x plus 3. So I've got my twins, 5x plus 3 and x minus 1. And now this is where I'm saying don't forget about that GCF you took out at the beginning. This here is only equal to 5x squared minus 2x minus 3. I can't forget about this 3x because I want the whole expression that I get to be equal to the original. So I need to bring this 3x down here, and it's out in front of my factoring. So now my fully factored form is 3x times 5x plus 3 times x minus 1. So this example is a lot like example 2, A and B. So I am going to move down to example 3 and do one more example for you. I'm going to look at A, 3A. So in this example, I see x to the 4th minus 4x cubed minus 12x squared. So the first thing I notice is that I've got a 1, a 4, and a negative, or a negative 4 and a negative 12. So I can't take a number out, but I've got x to the 4th. So I've got 4, 3, and 2 here. So my smallest exponent is 2. I can take out all 2 x's from that term, and this one has enough to give and that one has enough to give. So generally when you're looking for the GCF and you have multiple x values, you're looking for the smallest exponent to take out, just as a rule of thumb. When I take out x squared, I'm left with x squared minus 4x minus 12. And now I'm at the point where I want to factor that middle expression. So I've got negative 12, 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. And I'm going to add to a negative, and I'm going to multiply to a negative, so I need a positive and a negative, and I'll choose 2 and negative 6. 2x minus 6x is equal to negative 4x. So in my front two, I'll take out x, and I'm left with x plus 2. In my back two, I'll take out negative 6, and I'm left with x plus 2. And so I've got my twins, x plus 2, and then I'm left with x minus 6. And I cannot forget about that x squared. It comes down in the front, and that's my fully factored form. So there it is. There's factoring. You take a GCF out first, and then you factor what's left.